I'm going to record this whole video on my phone on cinematic mode to help you guys understand that you need to start with what you have. There have been so many questions since TikTok is officially banned, and even if it doesn't come back, I think it's worth it to put your energy into YouTube. So let's talk about how you're going to get started on YouTube. Let's talk about the physical setup. If you do not have a ring light, I am using a ring light. You can go in front of a window and get natural lighting. You can also use the lighting that's in your house as long as things are clear. If you are providing great value, you have a microphone. This microphone was $30 from Amazon. It links into my computer, it links into my phone, and it also links into my camera. Boom. There you go. We are not going to overthink this, guys. We are just not. So we're going to start with what we have. I have a ring light. I think the ring light might be $100 to $200. I'll link the one that I have just for reference. I have a tripod. I've had this thing for years. I think it was $30 also. It allows you to record in different angles. You can record vertical and you can record horizontal. That's all we need in this day and age if we want to make a short form video and if we want to make a long form video. Keep the setup simple. Get some nice background in your house. Even if you only have one wall, make that your setup and just leave it. My setup has changed throughout the years, but right now this is what's working. I'm sticking to this area and this is what you will see. You do want to have some type of consistency there if possible. If possible, do not overthink this. If you are going to shoot in your car, make sure you are not driving, because you will get either demonetized or they may take your video down if you are driving, because they're going to say that you're not being safe. So if you can, just avoid even recording in the car. Make sure you're still and make sure you're focused on what the topic at hand is and that you're grabbing your audience's attention. That's what we're going to do. And so then the next important thing that people have questions about is the equipment that they're going to use. A lot of people use CapCut to edit their videos, but you want to keep that simple as well. I like to keep my editing software very simple because I'm the type of person, I don't want to get bogged down on things that are not a part of things that are going to waste my energy, essentially. So before I was using CapCut desktop, I was using iMovie. I go back between iMovie and Adobe Premiere. And the reason that I don't use Adobe Premiere all the time is because I do find it to be unnecessarily complicated. It goes through different iterations and versions, so it may be better now. I also don't know that you're able to use it on your phone. So let's talk about what you can use on your phone. You can use InShot on your phone to edit vertical and horizontal videos. I will also do some research and see if they have a desktop app for us, just like CapCut had a desktop app for us, which made life very easy. And the reason that I moved over to using the CapCut desktop, someone told me about it. I found it easy to use, and so that's what I'm going to stick with. We do not have to have a lot of bells and whistles in these videos. We don't have to work on a bunch of transitions or words moving on the screen at this point. Allow yourself time to get better. So there are some other apps that are out there. Please let us know in the comments if you are aware of other apps that will allow us to edit YouTube videos on our desktop or on our mobile devices. But I would say start with InShot. InShot is very easy to use. That's the one that I've used always. I never really used CapCut on my phone because I didn't want to learn a new software. But I do go back and forth because CapCut does offer some things that are a little bit more easy to get to, if that makes sense. Just more clear cut than InShot. But InShot is here. It's what we have if CapCut doesn't return back to us. So now that we know how our setup's going to be, we know what we're going to use to edit our video, let's talk through a little bit of how you're going to set up your channel for success. So the next thing that we're going to work on is our confidence. The thing about YouTube is that it does seem intimidating because you do have to have your confidence in a certain place. But confidence should not be mistaken for arrogance. Confidence does not mean that you have all the answers. Confidence does not mean that you are above or better than anyone. It just means that you believe in what you came online to share, and you believe that there's other people that care about what you're sharing as well. That is it. That is all. Because if you seem like shaky and unclear about what you're talking about, it's going to come off that way. And I'm not saying that in the beginning that's not going to happen anyway, but you still need to have the confidence to see it through and understand that each time I get on this camera, each time I get in front of this microphone, I'm only going to get better, right? I'm only going to get more clear, and I'm going to continue to be focused on the end goal, which is the relationship and the community that you want to build. And then also too, you have to take down the weight on yourself. If, let's just say, you were trying to learn how to draw, you previously don't know anything about drawing except maybe the basic shapes, right? Well, you already know that your first few pictures are going to be ugly. Like, you go into the mindset knowing that. But with something, I guess, less pressure, like learning to draw and no one else seeing it, it's not a big deal to you, right? You're like, okay, well, each time I draw, each time I draw and learn more information, practice different things, I'm only going to get better at drawing. Yes, it may take me a year to get to the point where it's pretty enough for me to want to show it to people, but this is a goal that I've committed to. And so you have to look at YouTube the same way and understand that you don't have to tell anybody about your YouTube channel. And when you start, it's probably not going to be a lot of people watching. So you just need to take off. So you need to take off that pressure, because one, is strangers watching you, and two, it's probably not going to be that many strangers watching you. So it's not really a big deal. This is about your journey, essentially, right? Of course, people are going to join you along the way, but essentially, don't think that when you get on camera, you have to be Ashton Kutcher. I don't know why his name came in my head. No one's probably trying to be him, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm trying to say. So take that pressure off of yourself, right? Allow yourself to make the mistakes, right? But just get that first video out there. Maybe your first video is you coming on camera and just sharing so that you can connect, letting people know that you're out there. If you're going to be talking about vegan meals for millennials, let them know what you're going to be talking about. Give them a story behind why you are passionate about it and why you want to continue to share, and give them a reason to follow you. This is all we're talking about. And I don't want to be mean when I say this, but I think that a lot of people are intimidated by YouTube because they really don't know what to talk about. They really don't have vision. And so that's why in my thread that went viral, I say YouTube is going to sift that out, because you do have to be pretty passionate about what you're talking about to continue to talk about it for 3 to 5 years. And I'll tell you why I said that in a minute. So yeah, you have to be passionate. And so a lot of people want social media to be this quick get rich thing, and it's just not that. It's just like acting. Most people don't have their big break on their first role that they get. They have to audition over and over and over and over again. So just think about YouTube as you auditioning over and over and over again for that community that you want to build. And if you are truly concerned about creating that community, you're going to keep auditioning until you bring those people in and you ultimately get to your end goal. So you have to be committed in that aspect, and that's the beauty of YouTube. And if you are able to do that on YouTube, it's a transformation of energy and it's a transformation of skills. The reason that I think it's so powerful to start with YouTube is because of the skills that you learn in editing, the way you learn to come on camera and sit down and be comfortable with being in front of the camera and talking to people. And I'm not saying you don't get that from the other apps, but sitting here for 20 minutes with you, I'm really having to train myself. I'm really having to slow down. I'm really having to think about what I want to say and how it's going to translate over to you. And if I'm able to get that concept through YouTube, I can take that concept and make a TikTok video. I can take that concept and make an Instagram video, because I have learned that art of connecting with people through the camera on video. And then just think about the long-term benefits of being able to speak on camera for 20, 30 minutes. That can easily translate over to giving a talk somewhere, giving a speech somewhere, being invited to speak on a panel because someone has watched you for 20 or 30 minutes talk about what you're passionate about, and they can see the passion and they can see that you know what you're talking about. So I'm just going to end there. I'm not going to hold you any longer. I just want you to be inspired to start and not to overthink it. If you have any more questions, make sure that you put them down in the comments, and let's go on this journey together.